you represent PTI. Tell us, where is Mr. Imran Khan? It's a vote of no confidence against his government. Should he not be in the National Assembly?
He is not supposed to appear in the National Assembly since he has other commitments and he has nothing to do today in the National Assembly. I mean, I personally believe that there is no voting which will be held today. And secondly, it's the opposition who has to show the strength, not the government. I mean, not the treasury benches. So this is all up to the opposition, which is going to show the strength. Like interpretation of?
What interpretation is this, Abdul Samad Yaqoob? He is a lame duck prime minister. If he has nothing to do in National Assembly when his government is being tested for trust, he cannot have anything else outside. I mean, for God's sake, I think except for routine administrative measures, Imran Khan as a lame duck prime minister can't take any policy decision. His cabinet is sitting here. I think he should be there in the house. Also, you are giving breaking news that vote might not take place on the no confidence motion. Is this part of the PTI plan to not put the motion to vote?
Yes, you can. You can take it as a breaking news. I mean, that's what I personally believe, that there is the voting will not be going to held today. It most likely it will held tomorrow or later on, because the verdict of the Supreme Court was to conduct a session and to not prorogue the session unless the voting is done. And as per the verdict, we have followed the verdict and the session has started. Now it's up to the speaker. He can adjourn the session today. He can prolong it. He can. It's a discretionary power of the speaker. Once the debate is over, when he believes that he should conduct a voting, it's all up to him. As per the ruling of the Supreme Court, we have abide the verdict. And as you might have wrongly perceived about the Prime Minister.
You say that as per the ruling of the Supreme Court, we are abiding by the verdict, but it just seems that, you're abiding by it in letter but not in spirit, because if you were to abide by it in spirit, the government would allow for that trust motion.
No, there is a debate which we believe that that should be held before the voting. So it's now that the debate has started. First the opposition leader, and then the foreign minister, and then there are more members who will participate in the debate. And in fact, in the agenda of the National Assembly, the voting was stood at the number 4. So there are 3 more agendas which need to be filled, which need to be done. I mean, so this is the normal procedure. I mean, now, and this is unprecedented. That the first time that Supreme Court has instructed in the history of Pakistan to instructed a speaker to conduct a National Assembly session. I mean, this happened the first time. Normally, the practice is the constitutional practice is that it is the president who always calls the National Assembly session or the Senate session.
Right. Also, Mr. Yaqoob, I just wanted to bring your attention to what your Interior Minister just said a while ago. He says that we want elections and we believe that there are people inside the country to cause trouble. Now, one would look upon this as perhaps an attempt to scare the people of Pakistan. Is that something that's actually happening? Because, these are all being looked upon as excuses not to follow what the Supreme Court has said.
No, the election, he was referring to the general elections. I mean, since he is the Interior Minister and he knows the credible threat, whether if there is a threat or there is an alert, he is the one who knows it better. So I believe that what he said was that during the large, the bigger exercise of the elections, I mean, it is the biggest exercise, so there could be any a major terrorist attack. That's what he was indicating. And the threat is always, there. The threat is always there. Since we had recent blast in the Peshawar Mosque, so we cannot negate that aspect.
All right, let me take this to Pathikrit Pine, who is joining us from Delhi. Pathikrit, what is your sense? Imran Khan mentioning India or praising India thrice in 30-minute address yesterday, and he has done that in almost every speech at least once over the last fortnight. Is he seeking political asylum in India, you think, or he's kind of rubbing it into the Pakistani army?
Abhishek, I don't think that even if he seeks political asylum, anybody would be interested in giving it to him. Secondly, I think he's trying to project and say that, look, India has a foreign policy which is independent. Look, whatever India is today, it has been because of the hard work of 40 to 50 years. It did not happen in one day. We worked tremendously hard as a country, irrespective of whichever political party was in power in the center or in states, to create institutions, to create an economy, to create industry, to work on the industry. Those things didn't happen in one day. We did not actually sell ourselves to any particular country. Today, he is talking about an independent foreign policy of India. Pakistan doesn't have an independent foreign policy irrespective of US meddling. I mean, they have become a vassal state of China. What about that? So they have completely, the level of debt that they have today is not to United States but to China. And the Imran Khan government only added $35 billion in the last 3 years to that entire debt that they have. Their debt today, total.
और ना मैंने कुछ किया मैंने जो है वो मैं वतन पाकिस्तानी हूँ और जो चीज़ें मेरे सामने आई उसको देखते हुए मैंने फैसला किया।
आप ये समझते हैं कि वतन पाकिस्तानी होने का मतलब ये है कि आइन तोड़ दें?
कोई आइन मैंने नहीं तोड़ा है और ना मैंने कुछ किया मैंने जो है वो मैं वतन पाकिस्तानी हूँ और जो चीज़ें मेरे सामने आई उसको देखते हुए मैंने फैसला किया।
आप ये समझते हैं?
All right, that was pictures. Those were pictures from the Pakistan National Assembly. Again, coming back to the conversation we were having, if I can go back to Pathik, you were making a point about whether Imran Khan is actually in praise of Indian government. But the fact of the matter is that traditionally Pakistan has always pawned its foreign policy, be it earlier getting into the American bloc, be it later now getting into the Chinese embrace, or now in fact looking for some comfort from the Russians, even as Russia stands globally isolated. So I think there is a point he's making, whether it is only to rub into the Pakistan army or because of the jousting that is taking place between Imran and General Bajwa. The fact of the matter is that Pakistan forever has pawned its foreign policy for some short-term gains, because of which today they are in a situation where it's 195 rupees to $1, and every other month they have to go with a begging bowl to Saudi Arabia, to UAE, to make sure that they are not defaulting on their international loan commitments.
Abhishek, you are absolutely right. They actually look for short-term gains. But if Imran Khan is trying to blame the establishment or other political parties, then his government has not done anything different from it. That's what I'm trying to say. His government also has not tried to create the institutions. Tell me, if they have to reduce their dependence on foreign loan, then they have to have more foreign direct investment. For this, that they have to come out of the Financial Action Task Force grey list. For they have to, do a lot more in terms of securing the country internally. For that, they have to develop the institutions of industry, regulatory authorities. They have not done. Even Imran Khan government, except for hiking the prices because of IMF dictum, what else they have done in terms of increasing the GDP of the country? That is where the comparison comes, not with India, but even with a country like Bangladesh, whose GDP today is almost near $400 billion, whereas in case of Pakistan, it is merely a $260 billion or $270 billion. Imran Khan can blame anyone he likes, but in the last 4 years, what has he done to increase the confidence of foreign investors,